What's going on, guys? King Strats here, back with a video on the channel, and today we just let me give it to you. Okay, we made Italian bowls, and yes, I put them in like actual takeout container bowls. These are actually pretty big though, because I wanted to recreate something that I had at the diner yesterday. If you didn't watch my highest rated diner episode yesterday, the Suburban Diner had something called the Greek Bowl, which had feta cheese, spinach, gyro meat, and hash browns, pita bread, and then they added 2 eggs, and they had it on this menu of different egg dishes that they made bowls into. One of the dishes I wanted yesterday was called an Italian bowl, which was similar to what I made today. Of course, I made some changes to it because I freestyle this like I do everything else. So the original Italian bowl came with home fries, portobello mushrooms, I got the list over here, spinach, onion, sausage topped with eggs, and Parmesan cheese. So I did something similar. Let me walk you through it. First things first, I don't have any home fries. I don't want to make home fries because it takes forever. So I use fries. I use Ore-Ida fries, and I just put them in the air fryer. So that is what we have on the base. Second, I sauteed some mushrooms with a little bit of truffle oil, and then I added some spinach, which we let wilt down. I don't have the wilting process. It's literally just baby spinach that I added to the mixture, and then seasoned, of course, with garlic. Onions already in there. And then on top of that, we have a ground beef mixture. I was gonna use ground sausage because I wanted to keep it like Italian, but yeah, basically I didn't want to waste my protein. So the sausage has like terrible calories on it, and I didn't want to do that. So I seasoned it like sausage. I used a little bit of spices, as well as some roasted red pepper, some fennel, garlic, onion, things that you would see inside of an Italian sausage. So we added all of that up. And then I used, of course, some pasta sauce, little crushed tomatoes. Nothing too crazy with the pasta sauce. On top of that, we put the Parmesan cheese, and then last but not least, we added the sunny side up eggs to it. So I made my own bowl, and it smells really good, and of course I'm really excited because I get really excited about anything that's food related. So without further ado, I don't even know which one to do. I think I'm gonna do this one. Also, I don't really think I should say this because people get weirded out by stuff like this. Has anybody ever used an egg that had twins? Because I got one today. Y'all want to see it? Y'all gonna see it anyway. Look. You see that right there? There's one here, and then there's one here. So there were twins on this one. This one was just normal. These look like goggles, though. So that is what the bowl looks like. It smells really, really good. And I just wanted to see if I would like this as much as I like the Greek bowl yesterday. I had that bowl yesterday, and I was just like, yo, this is so good. I want to get all the other ones. I didn't want to get diner food twice because I've eaten out like 3 out of the last 4 days, and I like to kind of get back on track and make sure that I'm still eating wholesome type of stuff. Yes, this is actually wholesome, I promise. Anyway, let's go. First things I note, oh, don't mind my plastic fork. I order so much DoorDash. Let me see. Wait. These forks suck, bro. They're so bad. Well, there's yolk on there, I promise. Anyway, let's get the yolk. Here we go. Let's try it. Why do they make, like, what? Who thought of this? I legitimately hate forks. You can't get fries without the fork. Kind of comes with territory. This is the only diner. Now, obviously, this isn't, but I obviously copycatted the idea from the diner. It's the only place I've seen make something like this. And I don't know why it just works, man. It's just the spinach, I used garlic. I didn't use oil because I don't cook with oil. And I used ginger. It's so good. Why is that good? It doesn't make sense. Then you get the pasta sauce, that zinc and the Parmesan. Cheese and fries. I know some people don't like mushrooms. These are portobellos. And I actually used fresh mushrooms today for once, because I never do. I usually use a can. And people start clowning me in the comments. They're like, yo, why do you keep using canned mushrooms? Because they're easy. The process is just washing them and sauteing them. You get them in a can, they're already cooked. I'm lazy. It's like 2:30 in the morning. Imagine, which I did, sauteing mushrooms at 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. 2 days ago, I would have said could never be me. But it's me. I did it. It is worth it. I'm just lazy. It's like the top 5 weirdest combinations you'll ever have. Oh yeah. Gotta have that yolk running. I keep stabbing the actual egg. And I know people might not realize this because I use these containers. And people are probably like, you're not eating that much. This container is huge. Like, the plate that I normally use, this would easily be bigger than the plates because it's stacked higher. There are actually 2 pounds of French fries on here. Yes. 2 pounds. 32 ounces. I don't know, people, if you're overseas and you use the metric system. Yeah. We don't do that here. No. A kilo would be 2.2 pounds. In case you're wondering. So, there's about a kilo of fries on here. It's a lot of fries. And for all of my fellow Americans watching this, yes, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. I don't know why we decided to use a different, I know why we did, but we are one of, like, the only countries in the world that decided not to use the metric system. Which makes us look really stupid when we go to other countries and they start doing things in kilometers and miles are what we know. And they tell you, oh, it's about 20 kilometers away. And we're like, huh? I'm good with kilometers. I'm not the best with. I can obviously do the math in my head. The only one that I know at the top of my head, and I'd have to do it like, do the math, 1 kilometer is 0.621 miles. I'm better with weight, kilograms, only because when you have like a strength and conditioning background, that's what I went to school for. So a lot of exercise physiology classes and a lot of like strength and conditioning development. And what you have to do with that, because you're doing like Olympic lifts, most of the weight is done in kilograms. So we had to learn how to convert that relatively quickly. Because the real Olympic, now you can in America get bumper plates that are in pounds, but the contest ones that they use are usually in kilograms. So you have to know kilograms off the top of your head. I think we should use kilos anyway, because it makes you sound lighter. Not really, but when you're used to numbers in our US standard system, which I'm gonna level with you, makes absolutely no sense. So if I'm 220 pounds, I'm 100 kilos. Just sounds better, right? I've been 100 anything since like the 7th grade. And that is not a joke. Yeah. I've always been a big kid, man. So I played junior football. Now, European people at football, like the one with pads and helmets on. And I always had to cut weight to play. Similar to a wrestler. We had 3 divisions in our youth football. The first one was the smallest one, which I played to, how old was I? I think I played till I was like 9, I want to say. So, that weight was 105 pounds. I had to cut weight as a 9-year-old. The crazy part was there were about 3 or 4 other people on my team that had to cut weight with me. If you are familiar with football, usually those are the guys that are with their hand in the ground blocking, the lineman. I was a running back, the guy who runs with the ball in his hand, for people who don't understand football. I'm not trying to insult you, like some people don't like get positions. I used to have to sit there like wrestlers did, which isn't really the best idea, but any wrestler can probably tell you the same thing. When you had to cut weight, it was brutal. You didn't eat, you ran for hours, you put on plastic bags. Stuff that's really not good for you. But we all did it. And here I am. I know you saw that fry drop, leave me alone. Running around with plastic bags on. I wear number 22 because I'm a skill player. And the other 4 guys doing it like 64, 62, 68. Like, I'm not saying that number. And I'm running around with them. I've always been like a big kid, but I was like, athletic, so it was weird. And I did that as a 9-year-old, again as a 10-year-old and 11-year-old. This time the weight limit was $125, 125. And then again as a 12-year-old. Same thing. At 12, it was 145 pounds. And I remember this like it was yesterday because I was in shock. As a 12-year-old, I was 165 pounds. I lose 20 pounds to play. Same thing, skill position. My 3 friends that did it with me were all linemen. And here I am, number 22 dude with the ball in his hand. Now I'm bigger than that. But that's the way it went. I've always been a person who not struggled with my weight. I just was big. Like, put together big though. Like the Samoan dude. You know how Samoan dudes, like I love Samoan dudes, bro. Samoan dudes are different. I was built like that. I was just beefy. Like, but athletic as hell. And that's, most of the Samoan kids that I've known my entire life, like super, super athletic and just big and strong and fast and like, they got genetics and just, I love that, man. And they tough as hell. Anybody that is from there or you know someone from there, y'all know, like y'all just built different. And I've always been like built like that. I remember as a freshman in high school, now I didn't say 13 years old because I was actually in high school as a 13-year-old. I don't really talk about stuff like that. I think I said it in another video, but I actually skipped a grade in elementary school because I was reading and doing things at like a 6th grade level in kindergarten, so I skipped the 1st grade. They put me from kindergarten and put me in 2nd grade class. So I thought it was so cool as a kid. As I got older, it was weird because I was so much younger than everybody. I always was the kid like, oh my god, you're only like 13, and I was in high school. And playing varsity football, it was funny because I was 13 years old and had a state playoff game. And I don't know why this happened. Till this day, I feel like I should go back to my school and ask this man. I played in the state playoff game. Like, there's 18-year-old kids out there. I'm 13, bro. But as a freshman, I was probably like 5'7" at 13 and like $175. Like, I was, boom, I was built like a little old lineman, bro. Had a little belly, like, you know what I'm saying? But I was fast with it. But for some reason, I had been playing the whole year. My head football coach called my dad and asked if it was okay for me to play, because we played against like the #1 ranked team in the state. I guess he was shook, bro. He called my dad. I remember my dad told me, he was like, your coach called me and said you're gonna like that you're gonna play, and I was like, hasn't he been playing all year? I'm not like, why would I make that up? Dead ass, like, whatever. I'm not gonna lie though, them kids was big. Them kids was big. There were some high schoolers when I was like, there were some big boys. Like, people might not know, like New Jersey, we have a lot of like highly recruited kids that end up going like all over the place. And like, we played against a team, they had like 7 kids going to Division I school. But I was 5'7", $180. And then I hit my growth spurt. So by the time I was a sophomore and I was 14, I was 6'1" and 220 pounds. I just, like, I stayed the same, but got taller. Like most people that get taller get skinnier. No, not me. Still big and beefy. And I struggled with my weight. I've just been a naturally big dude my entire life. I didn't have abs until I was like, I was out of college. I never had a six-pack in college. I didn't have abs until like 4 years ago. About. Which always like is the wildest thing, because whenever new people, like, and I'm very blessed for that. Like, people think I get annoyed at questions like that. I really don't. But whenever like a new person finds my profile, they're always like, how the hell are you in shape? That's the first thing they ask. And the crazy part is that I was eating, volume-wise, way less food than this when I was overweight. I just ate more junk. And the people who watch my videos know, like you guys that have been watching for a while, kind of like, I've explained a lot of things I do for the most part, so you kind of get it now. But back when I was eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack or two, I was the heaviest I ever was. You'd be surprised how much things change when you actually know what you're eating instead of just eating. And I was thinking about this today when I was at the grocery store. I used to eat whenever I wanted to lose weight. Like, the biggest thing for me was just not eating a lot of food. Like, not getting full. I remember the first time, because I didn't really start worrying about like my physical aesthetic appearance until I had finished undergrad. When I got into grad school, I'm not gonna lie, we was going on spring break. So I never had went to spring break like kind of cut up. So I remember like when I got out of undergrad, because I graduated like in the spring, like by the time the spring rolled around, I was already in my internship. And I was like, no more classes, just grad school. So I was working in the weight room, and I was working in the same school that I had graduated from. I became an assistant, like graduate assistant strength coach in the weight room, and the kids that were doing spring program were all my teammates. So they knew who I was. So it was a little weird, but you know, we got it done. Anyway, when I started cutting weight, my idea was just not to eat a lot. So I would eat things like, no joke, this was like my diet food back then. Like for lunch, I would have like a Hot Pocket and like some ramen, which isn't a lot of food for me. But it was like mad calories, bro. Like, I didn't realize it back then. Because a pack of ramen, about like 370 to any, it depends on the ramen, but I think like the top ramen in Maruchan, they're like 370 for the pack. You know, you look on it and it gets you. Pop-Tarts used to do this too, they changed it. But they used to get you because it was say a half a pack, half a block, and it was like $1.90 calories. It would say stuff like that. But in reality, it was like 350, 360, depending. And a Hot Pocket is, depending on the Hot Pocket, could be anywhere between, I think I've seen them as low as like a Lean Pocket, which, oh yeah, common miss, Lean Pockets ain't fucking lean at all, bro. That's cap. They're not lean. Like, it's marketing. They're not lean. They're the same calories. So, I think I've seen them as low as like 280. But I've seen them as high as 400 for one. Hot Pockets run you about anywhere between 250 and like 350. I've seen them at things as high as like 370, depending. And that would be my lunch. I'm not the best at math, but that little Hot Pocket and that ramen run you about, what is that, 700? Hold on, I'm gonna look real quick, I'm not stupid. $710 calories. I just put it in my Fitness Pal real quick. 710 calories. That's terrible, bro. No joke. And if you don't believe me, this is where people are. I'm going to show you because I do weigh my food. People might not know that I do say it from time to time. So I'm going to show you this. See if this comes up on your screen. Can y'all see that? That is 30 ounces of these French fries. It's supposed to be 32. Oh no, hold on, let's fix that. There we go, boom. 32 ounces of these French fries, 2 pounds. Okay? 32 ounces of French fries is 960 calories. 32 ounces, you gotta find the right fries. first of all. I just said the brand before, but they are, for people who wonder, or I had a golden fries. They are 90 calories for 4 ounces, right? That's insane. Those are the best ones I've found so far. So that's literally like potatoes, no joke. There's another one, Nathan's Famous. Actually, their crinkle cut fries are like 100 calories for 3 ounces the same way. 4 ounces. I think it's 3, but you get what I'm saying. That's an entire bag of fries. If I'd have known about those fries before, I could have easily eaten 380 calories worth of fries and gotten more out of it. And the same thing. Finding better protein, like a Hot Pocket, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously? But I didn't know any better because I didn't start taking my nutrition courses until my grad school. That's when I started learning about diet programming, because all my undergrad was exercise physiology. It was just basic nutrition stuff that would just teach you about like macronutrients, like basic. When I got to the stuff, we started learning about, you know, food choices, functional foods, you know, micronutrients, and like the nuances and stuff. So I didn't know any of this shit. I'm sorry, I just spit. I'll be laughing. So I used to do things. I would have like baked Tostitos and salsa, and like a sandwich with mayo and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't realize it back then, but it's more about finding better quality food, finding better ingredients, finding ingredients that are more macro friendly, especially if you want to get more volume out of your food. Now, that's where a lot of people kind of go wrong, because they see, oh, you're eating all this and all. I know how much calories. I weighed every single thing, including the freaking Parmesan cheese. It was all weighed. So when you understand that stuff, now you don't have to do that. There's different ways, but an easy rule of thumb for anybody out there who's having like issues with their diet and stuff: 1, try not to eat out too much. I know that I do, but I said this before, I have to suffer for it. 1, when you see me eating the food that I eat, I have to estimate it, which means it's not going to be accurate. I know that already. And because of that, I don't finish 90% of the stuff that you see me eating. If you watch my highest rated videos, I rarely, if ever, finish anything. If it is really good, sometimes, yeah, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna have a little more. But I understand now that means I can't eat. And I don't want anybody to do this kind of stuff, but that's what I have to do. But these 2 giant bowls that you see, they are big and they are filling. Again, there's 2 pounds of French fries in here. Everything added up. Is this, see, that's stupid. Oh, here. Can you see that number? It's the second one in, and here's everything that's on here, weighed out. That is 2,335 calories. Which means if I burn, which is average for me, usually about 3,500 calories. I'm 220 pounds, height, weight, all that stuff added into it. And the amount of activity that I do. I'm on my feet all day, and I work out, you know. So my activity level is pretty high. That's 6 to 7 days a week. Even on days I don't weight train, I still make sure that I'm moving around. So, with all this food that I'm eating, if I wanted to maintain my same weight, I actually have 1,000 more calories to play with, because I don't eat throughout the day. With this kind of meal, I don't really need any nutrients outside of it, but full disclosure, what I'll have outside of it, I'll have a protein shake. I always do post-workout, which isn't included in there. I will put it in later, but again, I have 1,000 extra calories. Scoop of protein is 150 calories. I know that. The one that I use right now. Usually about 120 to 140, depending. You can get some as low as 80 or 90, but they taste like ass, so I don't. I usually do about 120, but I'm going to finish this protein before I switch. And no, I'm not going to tell you brands, because ain't nobody give me no money to do it. But rule of thumb, try to find one that per scoop has about 25 to 30 grams. Doesn't have a lot of fat in it. And it's about 120 to 130 calories a scoop. Unless you are bulking. If you're looking to keep your calories down and you need protein as a supplement. Now, also, you don't want protein as a supplement unless you are not getting enough protein in your diet. It's a common misconception. I'm talking diet. Again, doesn't matter. Some of y'all care. Some of you need to hear this. There's a common misconception that protein is going to help you get bigger or gain more muscle or help you lose weight. Understand what protein is. It is literally just powdered food. You understand what I'm saying when I say that? It is no different than eating, okay, in a macronutrient sense, not a nutritional sense. Somebody out there is going to be like, ooh, shh. From a macronutrient sense, you have to think about protein as a powdered food. You have a set number of protein grams to eat in a day. So, a person like me, again, I'm 220 pounds, 215 pounds, whatever the hell I am right now, somewhere in there. I try to eat about a gram per pound, backwards, of protein in a day. I'll go as low as 0.7 on some programs that I have, but more or less a rule of thumb for me is a pound. That means I have to eat 215 grams of protein. In this meal is about $1.70 because there's ground beef, the mushrooms, once it adds all up, the eggs, adds up to about $1.70. That means I need another 50 grams. I don't want to sit here choking down chicken, or anything like that. So I will usually go for powdered protein. There are some days where my protein meals are higher and I don't need the shake, but I only use the shake when I need it. Recently, because of how my diet with the content has gone, I've been eating or drinking more protein because outside of those highest rated meals, which I have said before, I'm literally eating nothing but protein and vegetables. Vegetables for my nutrients, micronutrients, things like that. So it'll be a little medley of vegetables. Sometimes I do spinach, sometimes I do kale, sometimes I do like green beans, broccoli, things like that. Sometimes I'm eating like just plain ass like white fish or chicken. I season it. It's not plain, but you get what I'm saying. It's not like fried or anything like that. Sometimes I'll even eat tuna right out of the can, hot sauce, and season it. That's what I'm doing outside of these videos because that's what it takes to make those videos. I just need to get my protein in after that, make sure my calories are on point, and that's it. I do not recommend that anybody do exactly what I'm doing, okay? Please don't. Don't be like, oh, well, he does that. Don't be me. I'm not trying to sell you a diet program. I'm only telling you what I'm doing and what you should kind of use as rules of thumb. Be you. Also, do not copy anybody's diet. I've said it, and I'm proud of the fact that I've lost a bunch of 70 pounds or so doing what I did, but I have never once tried to sell someone my diet. My clients don't eat like me. I do not do that. If someone was truly interested in it and if they thought it would fit their lifestyle, then you could steer them in that direction, but it still wouldn't be, especially now, what I'm doing. And if you aren't sure, hire a professional. I don't know why people think that if you break your car down, gotta call a mechanic, break your toilet, call a plumber, break your body, you don't call anybody. I'll figure it out. I'll Google it. Yes, you can Google how to change your oil or replace your filter and all that other stuff. Most people just drive that shit into the shop because they don't want to do it because if you fuck it up, you ain't got no car. The same thing goes with your body. If you fuck it up, you don't get another one. You just gotta live with the shit. So, yes, you can Google things, but don't some dude at the gym or stuff like. Try to figure out what works for you, and if you really don't know, and it's not a bad thing to not know. I don't care if you're a guy who's been working out for 20 years in the gym. You still might not know, okay? People don't realize this, but every bodybuilder that you have ever seen, Mr. Olympia from way back when, have coaches, have people who give them weightlifting programs and give them diet programs and tell them, hey, stop eating this, start eating more of this, take the sodium out of your diet. You think they're doing all that shit themselves? Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback who has ever lived. He has a throwing coach. He has a dietitian. But the average dude, women are stereotypically, again, not all men are like this, but the majority, nah, bro, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, bro, it's not a bad thing, bro. Like, people take it as a negative. The best bodybuilders, the best physiques the world has seen in the history of the world. Like, that goes pro athletes, bodybuilders. They all have dietitians, diet coaches, strength coaches. It's not like a sign of weakness, bro. I have people for a living that I tell what to eat and how to work out and still get second opinions on my own shit sometimes. That's not a joke. I experiment on myself because that's my job. So I've experimented on myself for years and I've kind of gotten myself to the point that I understand me. Okay, look, you need to do this, you need to do this. And even with that, I'll be like, yo, what do you think? Like, this is what's happening right now. Should I do this? And get a second opinion. Doctors get second opinions on themselves. Like, you might not realize this, but doctors go to the doctor. It's not, but for some reason, like, people have so much pride when it comes to, like, the gym and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting help. You'd be surprised the things that you can learn. Myself included, and I'm not going to sit and act like I'm some kind of diet guru, but I've been doing this a long time, studied it, still study it on a daily, like, I'm always studying it because I don't know everything. And I'm always asking other people in the industry, whatever. Yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Like, and it's not a bad thing. Like, musicians do it. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, some of the greatest artists of all time still have other people's input. No, believe me, go to your favorite artist song right now. On Spotify, whatever. And look at the album, the credits. And see who else is on there. That's the way it goes. Like, if you want to get anywhere, yes, I'm talking about fitness, but anywhere in life, humble yourself. You don't know shit. I don't know shit. I tell myself that every day. I don't know everything. I don't know anything. Like, no matter what, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you look like, you can always dial it in. And it's never a bad thing to at least take input from other people. Constructive input, not douchebag input, but constructive input. People that you might trust, right? My best friend co-owns business, like the train. You think I don't ask him for tips and stuff? Even with workouts and stuff. Yo, what are you doing with your clients? Like, what kind of program? Like, all the time. Like, why would you not? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be cocky with it. You know, like, I think people, if you don't know me, might have that misconception, like, I think I know everything. And, like, I'm self-admittedly a know-it-all. Like, I love to know everything. But my attitude is I don't know anything. I love to learn from people. I don't care what it is. I can always learn something from any human being that I interact with. I don't care. I don't care if you're 3 years old or 90. Like, if we can talk, you know something that I don't know. And I want to know what that is. And that's how you progress. Like, it's a never-ending thing, bro. Like, progress is one of those things, like, I don't care where you get, there's always better. There's always better. You should be content with where you are, but not complacent with where you are. There is a difference. In my life, I feel like I've accomplished some things. I'd be stupid to not say that. Like, if I had a checklist of stuff, like, I've done some stuff, but there's always more. Like, I haven't really done anything, but I've done things. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between the two. And I think that's going to be the difference in anybody's life about where you end up. Some people are happy with being okay with shit. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But even with that, still be better. Better than yesterday. You don't have to, like, be a maniac. I'm kind of a maniac. But you can still get better. You can always get better. My biggest inspiration for that, Kobe Bryant. Remember that Kobe commercial? Kobe was like, Kanye West was like, I did this, I did all these accomplishments. He was like, what else can I do? What more do you want from me? And Kobe was just like, more. And, may he rest in peace now. I love Kobe, but when it started to come out, his mindset, I was already, like, soaking in his shit. Like, I was listening to the stuff that he would say when he would get interviews and talk on camera, and all the stuff that he did And people didn't realize how many languages he spoke, how knowledgeable he was about other stuff other than basketball. And he was obviously one of the most cerebral basketball players there ever was. And he still was more. I want to know more. I want to know more. Like bothering Phil Jackson. I want to know about triangle offense. I want to know more. Some of those guys. As I get older, guys like Tom Brady, same thing. Not all athletes, you know. Certain actors, some of the things that actors do, their craft, the method acting, what they do to get in that mindset, you know. Directors. I appreciate movies so much more because I started learning about cinematography and like continuous shots and like the open, like I love that stuff. People think I like horror movies. I'm a big time horror movie person because I like, you know, oh, here, let's just watch this. Oh, that guy just didn't, like, you know, he Leatherface with a chainsaw. It's the practical effects. It's all that work. I love The Walking Dead for more than the story. The cinematography, the sets that they made, real life sets outside, you know, and the practical effects. If you know who Greg Nicotero is, like, and some of the stuff, like the walkers that he made and the stuff that goes into just making like one walker, and there's like 90 of them in a single shot, like that kind of stuff just gets my brain going. I get inspired by it, you know. I always want to progress with stuff like that. I may not be the greatest cook in the world, but I'm way better than I was 5 years ago. I'll tell you that one. I didn't understand how to plate things. I don't understand how to properly make sure that things are cooked the right way, or, you know, I'm always trying to learn stuff. Now, you don't have to do that with everything in your life. I'm just wired that way. I've been like that since a little kid. I have never liked losing, and if I lost, I would just continue to come back until I won. I remember my mom had to get me this book. I think I was like 7 years old. She had to get me this book that was titled like How to Handle Losing. No joke, because when I would lose like a basketball game, it was a team sport, but I wouldn't talk. Like, I'd be mad. I remember one game specifically. We were down by like 20 points in the fourth quarter. I'll never forget this. Like, and I just went like Kobe mode, bro. I didn't pass. I was running up and down the court like a madman, like stealing the ball, running to the rim, going to the cup, just throwing it up, making sure I get to the free throw line. We had like 13 seconds left, bro, and I passed out. Like, I literally had to sit down. Like, I could not stay. I couldn't see straight. Hyperventilating. Couldn't move. Like, I was in such like a frenzy of like I needed to win that game that I ran myself into the ground and didn't realize until it was too late. So I had to sit down. They called the timeout. I like caught my breath. We lost by 1 point. They dribbled the clock out. I'm still mad about it. I was like 8, bro. I don't like losing. And I remember I sat down after the game and I was still mad. Everybody else was like, all the kids in the team, like, no disrespect, I'm not saying it like that, but all kids in the team, they went and hugged their parents and went home, and I just sat there for like 3 hours. Like, I got in the car with my parents and I went home and I sat there. I just sat there and stared out. And that's when my mom got me that damn book. I couldn't do it, bro. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I was so mad. Like, I hate losing. I still do. I've learned how to cope with losing more as far as like my getting angry. I'm not angry anymore. But my mom got me that book, How to Handle Losing. And I never read it. I never read that book, bro. Oh, Mom, I hope you're not watching. I never read the damn book. I'm sorry. I didn't want to hear it, bro. As I got older, I kind of realized like how to handle defeat on my own. For me, it's more about like learning from the loss. You're not supposed to be okay with losing. I'll never be okay with losing, but what can I get from that loss? What did I do that I could have done better next time? So when it happens again, what can I do to kind of like, you know, come back stronger? What did I mess up on? I don't care if I'm playing, I still play FIFA, right? And like, I'm pretty good, you know, but in games that I lose, I'm like, oh, I did this, like I should have did this. Like, that's how I am with everything, right? And then I learn from that, you know, like if I have something that fails, I'm like, okay, how did I approach that? How can I better my approach to it? What can I do? You know? So you can't be scared to fail. You got to just learn how to like get something out of the failure. I've never met a single person, especially a successful person, that has never screwed up. You know, people love to say Michael Jordan got cut from his basketball team and shit like that, but Michael Jordan missed a lot of buzzer beaters too. He just, you know, you remember the ones he made. But, and I'll leave with this. People want to understand that mindset. Tom Brady is the all-time winningest Super Bowl quarterback, right? You know how many rings he has? Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls, bro. That's insane. Like, That's scary. 7. Ask Tom Brady this is not a joke too. This came out like a week or two ago. Tom Brady said he would trade all of his rings to beat the Giants that one year they won in 2007. Look it up. The year that they didn't go undefeated, the Giants beat them. I'm a Giants fan. I remember I was watching the game. I damn near jumped off a balcony. I was crazy. Plaxico Burress got that touchdown, bro. I lost it, bro. They won, but the helmet cat. Forget it. Anyway, he says he would do because he wants that. He would run that back. 7 rings. 1 for each finger and 2 over here. And he want that one back. Like, that's what it is. I'm telling you. Like, there's no joke. One of the biggest, I played football for a very long time. I had a pretty damn good career. Like, I did some things. As a junior, we lost in the national championship. Bro, I know the score. I can tell you the day. I can tell everything about it. No joke. Can't get it back. But so I would love to run that one back. Right now, I don't even care. I got a bum shoulder and, a bulky knee and dislocating fingers. I don't care, bro. Suit me up. I'm ready. Suit up, And I can tell you how we lost the game. I can tell you who on their team made the winning play. He played for the Packers. Man, don't get me started. Anyway, you get the point. That's the mindset. And, that's it, man. These were delicious. But I got to go because it's damn, it's late. We'll be back. I'm pretty sure we're back in the kitchen again. I don't think anything new was out. There's too much new shit last week. Anyway, we'll be back. I love y'all. My hand signs, they made it to YouTube.